Hello, this is for our CIT 211 Humanities course on Pakistan. Today we want to talk more about the war over the Indus. And so it's Albion, Jurgen, Kevin, and Kyle. And we just wanted talk a little bit about the war over the Indus and the impact it's had over the years, especially from 1947 when Great Britain actually wasn't over the two countries anymore, Pakistan and India, which we know the Indus rivers had a tremendous history. And so we kind of wanted to go start with the geography, which is one of the most abundantly important parts of the history over the Indus River. And so the Indus River, before we get to the geography, we want to go a little bit over a background. It says is one of the world's most heavily irrigated river basins. Um, It's interrupted by natural erosion. It's rich with sediment, lucrative and productive and land development. The largest state-controlled irrigation system in the world in 1947, and it stretches over 26 million acres. Um, and this was actually one of the biggest issues during the partition. As you can see, it actually doesn't cover just India and Pakistan, but it has also affects countries like China and Afghanistan as well. And when we look at it this way, you can see the countries that are involved, but a huge portion of it actually starts in India and it goes down into Pakistan. So you can see with the partition how way the geography is split now, which we'll get into, why it would cause that big of an issue. Forefront of the mass migration and violence unleashed by the partition. And so now we get in kind of more of the geography. And right here, you can kind of see how I was talking about before. You can see kind of China is up in here and how it affects them, Afghanistan. But you got India up in here with Pakistan right here, and it flows all the way down here. And so to really understand the war over the Indus River, we must understand the geography first, which the Indus River first runs through India. The Indus River is Pakistan's main water source. According to ADB, Pakistan is one of the most water stressed countries in the world. So you can see why that would cause a problem. India has limited use of the Indus River and could very easily cause a drought. The war over the Indus River is a threat due to the location of the rivers that literally bring life into the Indus River Valley. When the treaty lines were drawn in 1960, eastern rivers were given to India and the western rivers to Pakistan. As of right now, India controls the base and the Ravi, and the Sulaj, while Pakistan controls the Indus, the Chenab and Jhelum. The Indus River and the Chenab runs through India before they get to Pakistan. A little bit more about the geography. The issue with this geography is that India can really hurt Pakistan if India is to cut off and restrict the water supply. And a couple examples of this, they actually wanted to build dams on the Indus River to kind of gather more water for them. This is India, by the way, and that would cut off Pakistan's water source. Without the water from the Indus, Pakistan is at a very high risk for famines and drought throughout the country. And so this really puts us the stance of India and Pakistan at this point and where they're at. Here we'll give a few examples of things that happened during this time. It says even before the separation from Great Britain in 1947, the Indus River is what continues to fuel India and Pakistan's hatred for each other. Why did just a couple questions to kind of keep in mind while you're still viewing this or you're viewing this presentation is why do they continue to fight over the water source? What influence does this river have on the two countries and also other countries that surround it? On September 18th, 18 Indian gunmen were killed in an army base by Representative Jashi Mohammed, which is a Pakistan-based group. Although India can't say for sure that it was a direct tie to the country Pakistan, but one can strongly assume that it was. Another question to keep in mind is when we're looking at the two stances is why would these attacks happen? We first must understand the purpose of the river and the treaty that both countries have with each other. The Indus Water Treaty, a 56-year-old water distribution pact between India and Pakistan, sets out how sets out how the two countries will share the Indus River and its tributary tributaries. Sorry, the main Indus River flows through China, India, and Pakistan, and has multiple tributaries. To put it simply, India has control over the eastern river, and Pakistan has control over the western part of the Indus River. This is an issue for Pakistan because since the water flows from east to west, India now has a huge influence on what goes on with the river. So if they want to build on it, then Pakistan won't have a say on what actually gets to happen. And again, it could lead to a drought or many other people just starving and dying of thirst. This can make it tough with any country when the majority water source is being threatened by a country you have been at war with since the beginning of time, really, since the beginning of literally start of the time in 1947. And to really put it simply, that is our presentation. And as we've studied throughout this whole semester, we've really realized the importance of the Indus River. And I encourage everyone to continue to study up on it. You can read many articles on the threats that it has, India over Pakistan, and how it can really affect the rest of the world. Really, it can lead to nuclear wars, wars in general. Really, and so that's our presentation.